Good morning, boy and girl. What? Am I back in the kitchen? Yeah, I'm a rebel. It is Wednesday, February 25th. Hope everyone's having a great week. Had a good weekend. It's kind of gray and windy here in the PNW, but it's supposed to be like 50 degrees, so that won't be bad. Might get the dogs out on a hike this afternoon. We'll see. I got a bunch of them here with me, so if I happen to run off the camera and you hear what sounds like me strangling something, that'll be fine. And most likely they deserve that. Good Lord, that's a good paper. First of all, I want to thank everyone that subscribed and has been watching videos and comments, and we've been having full conversations in the comment sections. It really fills my heart with joy. Like, thank you guys. It's freaking awesome. I still kind of feel like an idiot just talking to myself. I mean, I guess I talk to myself a lot, but it feels more intentional now. And you don't know. You don't know if anyone's gonna care, gonna watch, gonna give a shit. So just thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. It's cool as hell. And I keep getting asked about my house blends. I'm gonna do a part 2 video, I think, and kind of talk more about the blends that I've made, what they are, why I made them, that sort of stuff. Funny enough, YouTube has been a really positive thing for my pipe hobby, like my house blends. So I had all those recipes on different cards and pieces of paper, and in this section on my phone, and in this text message over here, I had another recipe, and for whatever reason, it's been like that for several years, and I had never compiled everything together. But I keep getting asked so much about them that I was like, shit, I really need to sit down and make a list and like figure this shit out. So I did that, which was cool and fun. And then I was like, well, I wonder what I can make right now. So yesterday I pulled out, or the last 2 days actually, pulled out all my bulk jars and kind of went through everything I had, and I made up a bunch of my house blends. That's what these lower jars are here, is all house blends made up. Getting ready to do a tobacco order. Got to fill back up some of my bulk blends. So yeah, it's because of these videos, it's caused me to like kind of re-engage with parts of my hobby, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. Even down to some of the like rearranging my cabinet and artwork, and wanting stuff to look nice, not look like a slob. It's been really cool to have that motivation and that inspiration to kind of look at the hobby from a new perspective and new eyes. So again, to everyone that's been a part of this journey so far, thank you, because it's been a positive thing in my life so far, and I really do appreciate that. Oh, come on. I'm going to do a video someday on these compass pipes. I love these little things. Absolutely love these little fuckers. They're fantastic. And I specifically picked it for this video because they sit. You can see that. There you go. They sit real nicely. Kind of poker stovepipe situation. Hunk of wood. A great old pipe. Absolutely great old pipe. But today, I wanted to do a little show and tell. Guess that's why we're all here, right? To talk about the shit we like. First of all, I got kind of a funny story. As you see, I have a pipe rack. I mentioned a couple of videos ago that I was still trying to kind of figure out how I wanted to do everything. So, funny story that I'm sure a lot of you will relate to. This is just a little rack that I had found on Amazon, and I threw it in the shopping cart. My wife and I have our Amazons are on the same account, so it all kind of goes to the same bin. All right, I put this in the cart months ago, 2-3 months ago, with the intention of, someday when I knew we had a little bit extra money, saying, hey, you mind if I grab a couple of those, sort of deal. So I just thrown it in there and honestly kind of forgot about it. I look at this sort of shit all the time. I'm sure you boys look at that sort of shit all the time too. So the other night, I'm sitting there, just finished cooking dinner. I'm getting ready to sit down. Amazon comes for like the third time that day or whatever the fuck it was. And my wife goes and gets it, comes in, kind of sets it across the counter at me. So I just open them up real quick, and hey, was some other stuff for the house. And then this was in there, and I pull it out, and I look at it, and I'm confused. And I'm sure I had a confused look on my face, because my wife kind of looks at me, and she goes, what? And I said, first of all, honey, I have to tell you, I did not order this. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I did not order this. I was going to talk to you about it, but I didn't order it. I don't know how it's here. And one of our daughters is in wrestling, and so I'd been on there looking at mouth guards and stuff, and so I thought maybe accidentally I had somehow, some way, clicked in the shopping cart to send this. I didn't know. I assumed it was going to be my fucking fault, because, right, it always is. And my wife starts laughing, and she's like, no, I accidentally ordered it. She had some of her stuff in the shopping cart and somehow accidentally ordered this. Realized it after it was already ordered, and she's like, whatever, I didn't give a shit. But she didn't tell me that she'd ordered it. Oi! We get enough notifications on her phone that I didn't really pay attention, and I didn't see it. So that's how I ended up with a pipe rack. At least it's helping me kind of get my shit organized a little bit better, instead of having to just sit on the shelf. So that's the story of my pipe rack. Today, specifically, I kind of wanted to talk about my Dunhills and what they mean to me and why I have them and all of that fun stuff. I also I don't know, maybe it's just me, and I've got a kind of interesting anecdote, but there seems to be kind of a stigma about Dunhills. If you smoke a Dunhill, somehow you're elitist or better than someone smoking a cob. But if you're smoking an $800 custom pipe, like no one thinks about it, they're like, fuck man, that's a cool ass piece. I don't really know why that is. Here a couple of years ago, I was I was part of just some dumb random Facebook pipe group. And I got kicked out of the group. Well, kind of. They asked me to leave, and then I told them to fuck off. Like after my second picture, it was one of those groups where like everyone would just take a quick selfie of them smoking a pipe. Hey, every afternoon, everyone. Just out here with a bowl of whatever. And it was just kind of a neat thing. See different pipes, hear different blends, that sort of stuff. And after maybe my second picture with a Dunhill, one of the moderators reached out to me and said, "Hey, would you mind not posting pictures of Dunhills?" And I'm like, "What? Why?" And he said, well, some of the guys kind of think it comes off as you being an asshole and being elitist. And I was like, oh, well, did you tell them they can fuck off? And that's when they asked me to leave. And then I told them they could fuck off, and I'm not a part of that group anymore. I chuckled about it. Like it was fun, but I didn't care. I didn't have any personal friends or associates in there at all. I think in the pipe world, we all have our bucket list items, our one day holy grail sort of stuff. And for me, for the last 10, 15 years, I'd wanted a Dunhill. I wanted one, but not bad enough to actually look into it and figure it out. And I just, Dunhill's such a storied name, and it's almost like a legend in the pipe world. You just think of like a bunch of old wrinkly men sitting around and my Dunhill. There's lore, like just to the name itself and to the branding and the imagery of it. One of these days, I swear to God, one of these days, I'm going to get, if you guys have ever been on eBay and seen this, you'll know what I'm talking about. But there's I want to say it's probably from the 40s or 50s, but it's a Dunhill display, and it's a hand. It's like a mannequin's hand that then has a spot where you put your Dunhill on the display cabinet. It's got the Dunhill branding and stuff. And they're always on eBay in the pipe rack holder, whatever bullshit section. There's always at least one of them on there. They're ridiculously priced. I'm so confused by it. But one of these days I want one, just because I kind of like that marketing, old marketing angle, Mad Men sort of feel to it. I mean, I make up my own marketing that's completely bullshit for my own house blends. Like, I enjoy marketing. I think it's fun. So one of these days, I'll get one of those. But anyways, I digress. Dunhills. So I've wanted one for a long time, and finally here, I guess 5 years ago now is when I got my first Dunhill. So all my Dunhills are all estate pipes. I got them all off of eBay, and that's something I want to talk about here in a second. But my first one was this one. It's a 1965 Levat. Beautiful little pipe. This is actually, this little tiny dinky thing, may be my all-time most favorite pipe. For how it clinches, how it sits, the weight of it, the size of it, the draw on it. And I'm going to talk about the Dunhill draw here in a minute. I love this pipe. I absolutely love this pipe. If I was running out of a house fire, this would probably be the pipe that I would grab if I could only grab one. It would be one of my Dunhills, but probably this one. This pipe is dedicated to squadron leader. Most mornings, that's what I have, my first pipe in the morning with a cup of coffee, a squadron leader. And from the beginning, I kind of love the symmetry of Samuel Gawith English pipe blend from England, being smoked in an old 1965 Dunhill made in England. I used to drink black tea as well instead of coffee sometimes. So I always liked the symmetry of that, my very British breakfast, I would call it. Black tea, squadron leader, and a Dunhill. So that's the first one I got, and I instantly fell in love with it. Just, there's nothing special about it. It's not a remarkable Dunhill by any stretch of the imagination. None of mine are. I don't have any special editions. I don't have any fancy stuff. Mine are all just kind of the lower tier Dunhill, I guess for whatever that's worth. You'll also notice all my stems are patinaed, getting patinaed. That's on purpose. I like it. These are old pipes. I like old pipes to look old, and to me that helps it look more old. I totally understand keeping them polished and shiny. God bless you if you're that guy that does that, but I like the patina look, so I'm letting them do that on purpose. Every time I kind of break them down and do a real good solid cleaning on them, I always wash the stems with soap, which makes this worse, by the way, if y'all don't know that. This kind of discoloration, it's the sulfur compounds in the rubber coming to the surface and oxidizing, and soap makes that process go faster. So if you've ever had a kind of decent looking stem and you washed it and immediately was yellow and you couldn't understand why, that's why. Soap makes it go faster, the oxidation process. So I'm just letting them go, and maybe one day they say that the sulfur compounds can affect the flavor, and they'll get kind of a sulfury aroma to them. If that ever happens, I'll polish them out. But until then, I'm letting them go, boys. Love it. Love this pipe. So that was my first Dunhill that I got. My second one was this little guy right here. This fat pot. Fishtail. This thing is huge. Like thumb size. That's how deep the bowl is. It's a massive bowl, absolutely massive. I like that it sits because this is for sure a sitter, even for me, and I smoke pipes fast. Most pipes are a 10 to 20 minute situation for me. This pipe is, if I'm inside, like in the garage, not a breeze or anything, probably 45 minutes, somewhere in that neighborhood. It's remarkably light for the size of it. Like you see it and you expect it to be much heavier than it is. It's a great big chunk of briar, big thick walls on that thing. But it's remarkably light, and I guess that's part of what you get for when you pay for a Dunhill. This is top tier briar from the day. The other cool thing about this pipe is this was my very first birthday pipe. I know that birthday pipes are kind of a thing in the hobby. Lots of y'all have them. And for whatever reason, Dunhill birthday pipes seem to be pretty popular. I think because they're so easily dated, probably. I wanted one really bad. I wanted a birthday pipe. My 65 was amazing, and so I ended up looking for a birthday pipe, and I found this pipe. This pipe is almost entirely dedicated to Virginias. I like the big, wide open bowl on it. It smokes Virginias like an absolute champ. When I used to drive a lot, this also was the pipe that was in my truck, just because it sat on my console really nicely, the flat bottom. And it holds a lot of tobacco, so especially in the truck, this would last, I could get close to an hour usually, which is nice while you're driving. So that was my second Dunhill. Now, the next two I got at the same time, and you guys have heard me talk about them. My wife got them for me for a wedding gift. Now, to be fair, she told me I was allowed to pick out 2 pipes, and she would get them for me. So I did pick them out. She didn't get on there and specifically find these Dunhills. But nevertheless, they were a wedding gift. We actually got them, I think, a week or a week and a half before our wedding. And I didn't smoke them. The deal was that I couldn't smoke them until our wedding night. And I think I showed the goofy picture of me back there. That was the first time that I was smoking, and I was smoking this pipe there. On the balcony of our hotel room on our wedding night. I have a special wedding tobacco that I'm going to do a video about and talk more on, but I was smoking that. I then spent the next 2 years where the only time I smoked a pipe, and I smoked a lot of pipes, they were a Dunhill. I just kind of put away all my other pipes for a while, and I only smoked these 4 pipes. 2 of them in particular I smoked a lot. And I want to do a video on pipe dedication, kind of how I sort my pipes out, what my autistic OCD brain has decided to do. Man, that's delicious. There's a weather system moving in. Nope, just an asshole smoking his pipe indoors. All right, so these last 2. Little apple fishtail billiard. And then this is my workhorse pipe. What is that, a half bent Rhodesian? So these two pipes, when I got them, I kind of dedicated them. I smoked several different tobaccos out of both of them, and this is my Virginia pipe. So Virginias and Vapors go in here, and then this is my Burley pipe. And I smoke 50-50 blends a lot, things like that. But whatever the predominant leaf is kind of how my pipes end up taking shape. For whatever reason in my head, this pipe's brown, and that means Burley, and this pipe is red, and that meant Virginia. So that kind of also went well. But being the Burley piper, I smoke a lot of Burleys. If I smoke 4 pipes in the day, 3 out of the 4 is probably Burley, if not all 4. I cannot tell you. I mean, we're into 4 digits, thousands of, maybe not thousands, but several thousand bowls I've already smoked through this pipe. I love this pipe. This pipe is like an extension of my hand. Where it sits in my mouth is perfect. I like my straight billiards, obviously. It's what I smoke a lot of the time. But I like these kind of half bend situations just to get them out of your eye line. You're working on stuff, driving, things like that. Very nice. I don't drop down. And I've got a few drop bowls. In fact, I'm gonna smoke one tonight. I think I cleaned it up yesterday. But this is, if not my 65, then this pipe. And this pipe is actually what I call my wife's pipe because it's 1985, my wife's birth year. And then this pipe is in 1980. So I have 2 birthday Dunhills from my year and then this one from my wife's year. Thought that was fitting on our wedding night to get a Dunhill from my birth year and from her birth year. That's how I ended up with those 2. So now that I've kind of introduced you to my babies, let me talk about them a little bit. Do I think that Dunhills are worth the money? Yes, I do. Now, I understand that there's going to be a lot of subjectivity into everything about pipes, to be honest with you guys. But I'll tell you this. First of all, these are the only 4 Dunhills I've ever had. I've never smoked another Dunhill. So I can't say that I've had dozens and dozens of Dunhills to make this claim, but I will tell you this much. These 4 pipes are almost flawless in how their draw performs. There is no turmoil at all in the airflow. They're big, they're open, they're airy, it's straight, it's smooth, it's crisp. The minute that I started with the 65, it kind of changed my idea of what pipes should be, actually. I had a bunch of much tighter draws than this, and I just kind of thought that's how pipes were, and I learned better than that. Now, I don't know if this is a Dunhill specific thing. I don't know if this is kind of a higher end factory pipe thing, but they all smoke amazing. I mean, just fantastic. Now, I have a couple Savinellis that rival them. They smoke just as well. I have this Rossi, smokes damn near as well as my Dunhills. These dumb little compass pipes, again, I'm going to do a video on these. One of the best smoking pipes, in my opinion, that you'll find. They are absolutely every bit as good of a smoking experience as my Dunhills. Now, what don't they have? Well, they're not a 1965 Dunhill. The fuck? If you can smoke a 1965 Dunhill, you smoke a 1965 Dunhill. That's the more subjective side to them that I would say. Again, there's a mythic lore and almost legend. In one of my videos, I asked the big question of, do you think that pipes have souls? Do they have a memory to them? I think that they do. And I think that all estate pipes especially have a story to tell. There's something that just feels right to me holding an estate Dunhill. That's just me. Maybe your brand is Stanwell. Your brand is whatever, K Woody's, name them. I think we all have a brand of pipe that to us is just the unicorn, the special one. Uh, There, honestly, I'm sure there are nicer pipes out there than Dunhills. I know in the custom world that there certainly is. I've never seen in person any of the white spots. I don't know how their quality is today. I'm sure that Dunhill did have pipes go out of the factory with some flaws in it, but I'll bet you it wasn't as often as most brands. So objectively, I think that assuming you're getting a decent pipe from a decent, reputable person that's been kept in good condition, I think you're probably going to be happy with a Dunhill. I have never not been happy with them. If you really like a tighter draw, I don't know. Dunhill may have tighter draw pipes out there. These four all draw basically the same, in my opinion. It seems to be almost like a signature how their airflow works. So other than that, like, I think you're probably going to be pretty happy with it, which kind of brings me to the last part of this that I find to be the most ironic and funny. And that's the cost of them. Yep. I knew she was going to be out. There's a better pairing than black coffee and pipe tobacco. I'm not sure I know what it is. Cloud out of here. Pardon me for a weather break. So, price. Now this is the pipe world, and I would imagine if you're still watching this video, that must mean that you're somewhat deep into the pipe world, because why else would you listen to some dumb redneck like me ramble on for this fucking long? Prices are insane in the pipe world, and they can be radically, wildly different. There is kind of a like general market idea, but in all honesty, it's whatever someone's willing to pay for one and whatever someone can get someone else to pay for it. And so prices definitely can get stupid and crazy. That being said, all four of these pipes, I did not spend more than $200 on any of them. I'm sorry, excuse me. This pipe here was $225. This pipe here I ended up getting it for $187, I think was the winning bid. And then both of these were $200. Listen, I get that $200 is a lot for a pipe. But it also kind of isn't when you look at the market. If a guy spends $400, $500, $600 on a custom whatever, like no one thinks twice about it. You just go, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you want quality craftsmanship, and I don't disagree with that. I know the amount of time that goes into making some of these pipes, the handcrafted pipes. Time's the only thing that the good Lord's not making more of. So it's the most expensive thing we've ever known on planet Earth is time. So I don't have a problem, and I'm not trying to necessarily make a direct comparison. But I mean, some of the like Savinelli tier of stuff, new pipes can be 120, 140. Some of the special edition ones over 200. So for kind of the price of an upper end Savinelli, I got a Dunhill. Now, it took me some time. It took me losing some other bids. It took me being kind of paying attention to eBay to get these pipes. They were all pipes that I loved. None of them were like, whatever. I ended up with it. No, I fought hard, and I had to find the pipes that I really wanted, and then I had to get lucky enough. I put a cap on how much I was willing to spend. That was $200. Don't worry, I got permission to spend the extra $25. But I enjoyed the hunt of it. I enjoyed finally getting them. But this idea that Dunhills are all going to be some wild price, and holy shit, I can't believe you're smoking that. Like, it's like the dude that drives his Lamborghini to the grocery store. Like, what the fuck are you doing, man? You take the thing out of the garage for this? I'm telling you, you can get them in that 150 to 200 range if you pay attention on sites like eBay. You kind of know what you're looking for, you know what you're looking at, and if you're willing to take some time, you can spend a reasonable amount of money, in my opinion, $200, for what is arguably my best pipes that I have in my collection. Am I going to have a pipe someday that I like more? Maybe. Is it going to be a crazy multi-$100 custom? Could be. It could also be another $50 eBay find. You just don't know. But those are kind of my thoughts on Dunhills and the cost and why I love them and why I have 4 of them. I haven't bought a pipe for a couple of years. I know a lot of you know I've kind of been going through some medical problems, so money has really curbed my PAD and TAD the last couple of years, and not being able to work. So one of these days I'll probably be back in the hunt for another Dunhill. I may get a pipe before then, but if you want one, go out and get one. They're worth it. Don't spend crazy money, or do spend crazy money. It's your fucking money and it's your pipes. Like, do what you want with it, man. I don't care at all, but if you get one, I want to see it. So I don't know how long I've been rambling. I'm sure way too long, but thank you very much, everyone. Again, if you made it to the end, I appreciate it. And with that, I guess, chin up, cheers, and happy piping, everyone.